let's learn quite quickly how to use the basic function of the Elliptical Marquee Tool. So we're going to get bizarre this time. By now we've worked on a cursory level with layers. We will have, of course, dedicated lessons on layers, but quite simply put, we have a layer stack which we can view in our layers pane over here on the right hand side. And as we've been editing, we've been adding and removing layers. So we have the default background layer, which is locked, but can be unlocked and removed at will. Here we have the dog layer, which we can hide and show. We have the ball layer, which can also be hidden and shown. If you look to the navigator here, where you can see elements are being hidden and then redisplayed as we toggle their visibility. Then we have the frame at the very top. So I'm going to select the dog layer because the pixels I want to edit are on that layer. And that's the rule of thumb. When you want to manipulate your document, select the layer that the pixels you wish to manipulate belong to. Another way of doing that is to right click on the pixel area you want to edit, and layers which have pixels, opaque pixels, visible pixels in that area will be visible in the menu. In this case, the background layer 1, which is the dog layer, and layer 2. So layer 1 is the layer with our dog. We're going to select that, and I'm going to come over here to the drop down for our marquee tools. Click and hold to show the drop down menu here. And we're going to switch to elliptical tool. And I'm very simply just going to give him a third eye. That's what we're going to do. So one thing I might do just to improve the quality of this quickly is increase the feather. I'm going to change the feather to 6, and it's just going to help it to blend more rather than looking too sharp when we move it. So if I just copy and paste, you'll see that we actually have a new layer here now called layer 4, which I can toggle visibility for as well. However, it's sitting exactly at the point where we copied it from, so we can't see that. If I click and drag it over, we can put an eye on his forehead. So aren't we getting creative? There we go. 3 eyes this dog has. You could go further. Yes, you could go further and give him multiple eyes. That's probably a little too much. You do that by holding Alt and clicking and dragging, and that lets you make multiple eyes. So some kind of spider dog. I'm going to undo that. You will notice in Photoshop that by default you cannot do multiple undos. You hit Control Z to undo and Control Z to redo. So back a step, forward a step, back a step, forward a step. The hotkey for multiple undos is Control Alt Z. Hold Control Alt and tap Z and it will do multiple undos. Okay. So I'm happy with 3 eyes. So there. By adjusting the feather, basically that softened the edge of our selection. So the pixels closer to the extremities of the elliptical selection that we made were less opaque or more transparent. So they blend better into the layers behind, which meant that we didn't have hard edges. To demonstrate that even better, I'm going to make another selection here, but I'm going to set the feather first to 0. Then we're going to make a selection. I'm going to copy and paste it. Just make sure you have the right layer selected, which is the dog layer, layer 1. Control C, Control V. And if we move that, you can see it has a very hard edge. It is anti-aliased, but it's a very hard edge. And that's not what we wanted here for our result. Whereas this one has a very nice soft edge, as you can see. So that's the value of working with the feather in our elliptical tool and other tools as well. So I'm just going to delete this extraneous layer, which we don't really need. And I am now happy with our 3-eyed alien dog chasing his ball with the picture frame. Great. So you might want to save this document, as we'll be using it at different points through the course just to learn the basic tools in Photoshop. I'm going to save it as alien dog. So I have, of course, my own directory system on my computer. You use your own. Just remember where you have saved it and everything should be okay. Alien dog PSD. PSD is Photoshop data, or that's what I think of it as, alien dog. It's the proprietary format of Photoshop. So your Photoshop documents are saved in that format, PSD. You can change the format in the menu, but we're going to leave it at PSD, because when we open it as a PSD file, then we'll have everything here. We'll have all of our layers intact. Any sort of smart filters or anything else that we may have applied will still be there. Okay, that's that. Next, we'll learn about our polygonal selection tools and the lasso tool as well.